As a little bonus video from this Honda SCL 500 event that I'm on, I'm also going to throw my leg over this NC750X, which is a bike that's been around for a while, but it's one that we haven't gotten a chance to ride before. So I wanted to do a quick walk around and ride up this bike because it is pretty unique. I think it's a motorcycle that maybe some people don't know about. Now, some of the kind of oddities with this motorcycle, things that set it apart. Well, for one, it is a dual clutch transmission bike. This is something that Honda does in a couple of their different bikes, this one included. So if you look, there's no clutch lever here. It's because it does all of that for you. And this is a 745cc parallel twin, rated at around 58 horsepower. So it's not a super powerful bike. It's also a pretty affordable bike. It's $9,400. It's not insanely cheap, but this is not a super expensive motorcycle. And looking around it, you can see some signs that it does have ABS, but you can tell it's not inverted forks, so nothing crazy in terms of suspension or powertrain. And then you can always tell an NC750 by its very unique bodywork, especially this front end and the kind of Cyclops headlight that makes this bike stand out. But overall, this is generally a very practical bike. You've got a little bit of a windshield, some body work, so we'll find out once we get on the road, but there should be some decent wind protection. You can see here a good grab handle for your passenger pegs right there. So overall, this is a reasonably practical motorcycle, but I'm interested to see if it's anything more than that. Also, the NC750's most unique party feature is this storage compartment. It's 23 liters and it's designed to be able to fit a helmet. You can see that it does have a weather seal around it, and that is really unique because typically, obviously, this is where the fuel tank is, but not on the NC750. That is a big storage compartment. Also, if we check out the dash, you can see it's a relatively simple setup. You have a tach, gear position indicator, your speed, a bit more information, your fuel gauge, but it's a pretty simple LCD setup. Nothing too fancy because, again, this bike is $9,400. It's not a super premium bike. Also, here on the handlebar, you can see the transmission controls. So with this dual clutch, there's a plus and a minus that you can use, but you don't have to. Now, Alex has had the opportunity to try out Honda's DCT transmission on some other Honda products. This is actually my first time getting a chance to give it a try, so this will be interesting. I mean, automatic motorcycle, this is something that, you know, it's not a new idea. I mean, Honda did an automatic version of the CB750 a long time ago, so it's something that's been around in other bikes in the past, but it's still a relatively unusual thing. So far, though, it doesn't feel that weird. I mean, it is kind of weird not having anything where my left hand is, but I guess to some degree, if you've ridden scooters before, it's not too different than that. Now, right now, I'm in just the regular transmission mode, so it will shift automatically, but if I hit this button here, so that's neutral, that's drive, and then this button will let me switch it into a manual shifting mode, which I'll try out. But at the moment, you just twist and go. And I notice myself priming my left hand and my left foot to shift, but there's nothing actually for them to do. So that's going to take a little bit of getting used to, because this isn't a scooter, it's not a step through. So you hop on something like this, and I mean, if you're used to riding manual bikes, you're going to be a little caught off guard by the lack of a clutch and a shifter. But I can see this honestly being convenient around town. I mean, I love shifting bikes, so I think personally I would have a hard time abandoning that, but I don't think that this is a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, as for the rest of the bike, you know, it seems like it downshifts pretty quickly, and there's some decent power here. I mean, 745 cc's, nothing to shrug at. It's a decent sized motor. And yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of wind protection. I'm still hearing buffeting and everything against my helmet. It's not a big enough windscreen to totally block all of that from you, but it's got decent ride quality, a decently cushy seat, nice upright riding position. It's a comfortable bike to ride. Again, it kind of lends to the practicality aspect of this motorcycle. This is a bike that is definitely a smart design with its storage, with its layout. So yeah, I mean, it kind of rides like I would have expected it to. Right now we're obviously not on any windy road, so I can't really feel out the handling quite yet. You know, we probably will get the opportunity to do that. But overall, so far it seems just fairly normal, other than that transmission. Alright, now we have some slightly twistier roads that we can ride the NC750 on, and I'm definitely noticing that it's a heavier bike than the SCL 500 that we've been riding all day, what the rest of these guys are on. I mean, this bike is just under 500 pounds, so yeah, it's not a light motorcycle, but still decently fun in some of the corners. We're not pushing it super hard right now, but it still seems like this bike is happy to tip in, and I might as well try out this manual transmission mode. So now I've got my fingers on these shifters, and one of the nice things about having this in its manual mode is that it's not going to shift unexpectedly. So now you're back in control of the transmission, which feels a bit more like motorcycle should. I've had a couple shifts happen just when I wasn't expecting it, because I haven't spent enough time with this motorcycle to get a feel for its character, you know? I mean, if you spend enough time on a bike like this, I'm sure you would pretty easily be able to predict when it is going to shift. I just haven't spent that amount of time with it. But it's pretty quick to respond to your inputs. And look, I mean, these transmissions have been out long enough that lots and lots of people have gotten a chance to ride it. I'm just one of the few that it's taken me a while to have an opportunity to throw my leg over one of these dual clutch bikes. Yeah, and again, I mean, it's something that Honda's been doing for a while now, but it's also one of the things that makes this NC750 kind of an oddball bike. Between the looks of it, between the storage up front here and the fuel tank location, and also with the fact that it has this dual clutch transmission, this is definitely an odd bike, but I don't think it's odd in a bad way. I think a lot of the things that Honda has done to this motorcycle make it a very functional and practical bike, like that storage container. So yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely an audience for this motorcycle. It's a little weird, but it does its thing, and I can't knock it for that. It's a practical bike. I mean, it's the pack mule for today's SCL 500 ride. It's got everyone's baseball cap, it's got some cloths to wipe down the bikes, it's got water bottles in it. We're taking full advantage of this storage up front, and I even put some of my camera gear in there, which means I'm not wearing a backpack right now, and that's pretty awesome. So yeah, there's definitely there's a lot of good things about this bike the way it is, and I don't hate riding it either. I mean, it's a decently fun motorcycle to ride. I wish we didn't have this traffic up in front of us, because then we could enjoy some of these twisty roads a little bit more. But yeah, the ergonomics of it are good. It handles reasonably well, and this powertrain is not too bad. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's something unique. It's something that you don't get to experience in a lot of other bikes. So yeah, there's that. Here we go. We've got a few more twisty roads. Play around with the NC750 a little bit. This isn't crazy sophisticated suspension or anything, kind of like we were looking at, but still a bike that seems to have fun in the corners. A little gravelly. Yeah, there's some kind of loose gravel on this road, but all right so far. Definitely, I'm feeling the weight of this bike a little bit coming off of that SCL 500 that the rest of these guys are on. It's a step up for sure. This bike is just under 500 pounds, so it's not the lightest machine on the road, but it's still decently fun to corner on. And I've got a lot more push in this 750 than those guys do. I will say, also, like the way that this parallel twin sounds right now. There's just too much wind, but it's a 270-degree twin, so it makes a pretty nice, hearty noise. I like that a lot. I mean, parallel twins, let's see if you can hear a little bit there. Yeah, that's a pretty good sound. I'm honestly surprised at how much fun this NC750 is, because part of me is so married to the manual transmission on a motorcycle, and it's just hard to imagine ever stepping away from it. But if I'm 100% honest with myself, I'm still really enjoying riding this bike. I mean, at the end of the day, being on two wheels is being on two wheels. There's not really a right or wrong way to do it, as much as we might like to tell ourselves that the way that we ride motorcycles is the correct way to ride motorcycles, and everyone should be more like us. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you're getting out. And yeah, I don't know if I would go out and buy a dual clutch motorcycle tomorrow, but I'm still having a lot of fun on this one. So yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. Anyways, that's all for this video. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little ride video on this NC750 because it's something that we haven't had a chance to test out before on the channel. And yeah, this bike's been out for a while, but it's such an odd motorcycle in a lot of good ways that I just wanted to do a quick video on it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are having a good riding season. And enjoy the rest of it before it turns cold again, unless you're in a beautiful place like California, in which case, just keep enjoying being on two wheels. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll catch you all in the next video.